When we had Anwar on here, you had made a comment on.
Oh, that's why you let me get him up. I can.
Oh, so let me talk about this. A relationship coach being single is kind of crazy. However, why I could kind of see it is because I don't know if my therapist has ever been through some of the issues I'm talking about, whether it be financially, money, or whatever. But I do know they're skilled enough to guide me through, which I believe Dr. Bryant can be.
Right.
When Anwar was on here, I think he's amazing. I love some of his advice. Some of it I don't, but for the most part, I do. You were like, well, he's gay.
Well, no, so let me explain my point. I do not believe that a gay male should be giving advice to heterosexual women on their relationships with men. Because what a gay man has gone through in his life, how he interacts, the same way we know they act completely different with Grindr than they do on Tinder. There is a huge difference between heterosexual relationships and homosexual relationships. One thing. Secondly, we didn't get into it. I know he has history of speaking to dating online. I did not remember asking about his educational background. We didn't ask that. So I don't know what it is.
Doing it 15 years.
Which is why doing something for 15 years.
No, I'm saying has been active doing it and has literally studied it. And he talked about that.
Well, I want to know the criteria. Well, and I say that because
can he be gay and do it?
No. We've had Sham Booty on the podcast who went to school to become this because she was giving advice for years before she went to school.
For sex ed.
Right. So my and relationships, that's her umbrella. That's why she's not a full sex expert. It was definitely the mix between relationships, her dynamic. That's why she got married. That's why she went to school. Got it. But it's because she said she didn't feel like people took her serious without both. I don't think I can get relationship advice from a gay man who has never had a heterosexual relationship with a man. I also, again, don't know his education. Lastly, Dr. Bryant specifically, has 2 degrees and a doctorate on specific psychology. So she went to school for it.
Agreed.
Cool.
I understand why she can coach.
So the same way I believe for someone, and this is the argument I have all the time, I'm fine with Skip Bayless being a commentator, speaking on the business and all this stuff of sports without having ever been an athlete. To me, Dr. Bryant expresses she had 4 proposals. She's been in numerous relationships where she did admit that 3 of them were because she wasn't ready. So to me, she's gotten as far as being proposed to, engaged, didn't go through with a full wedding. I don't think that it's bad for her to be current in a moment in time. She's currently single giving advice. I don't think she has to be married to give relationship advice because she's not specifically talking to married women.
I agree with you on she doesn't have to be married to give advice.
Okay.
However, I do think, and that's why the Anwar thing and Dr. Ryan thing came to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
He's been married 15 years and has 3 children and has been going through the weeds of what a relationship is like. And to me, I almost feel like their roles could be reversed. And I'll tell you why. To me, he is more authorized to be giving coaching advice while in a relationship. And she'd be better off talking to women on being single because she's actually in the dating field. But I'm not going to hold you, Mandii. Like, a single woman, it wouldn't give me a lot of faith if they were coaching me in dating. Now, if she's coaching in relationships and dynamics, to me, that's more therapy. So I understand why she does that.
She's a relationship coach, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I get why he was trying to like kind of stick it to her because he's feeling like shitty when she's telling him what he's doing is wrong, which Cam Newton is wrong. But I almost felt like they could be flipped. To me, someone married to 15 years, that's a long accomplishment. And coaching that entire time. And the children. Most of the women coming to him probably want a husband and kids. That's why they're paying tens of thousands of dollars, right? In her particular case, if you're coaching married people and never have been married, you're coaching
that's what I'm saying. I don't know if she's
from a
coaching,
psychological level.
I don't know. So I don't know her to be a marriage counselor though. Like you could, but you're dealing with the relationship dynamics. Like, so I think that that's the problem. When you're in a relationship, whether you're married, whether you're single, whether you're dating, whether you're ethical non-monogamous, whether you're monogamous, you're dealing with people and communicating, which is what she talked about. That's why she believes she's high functioning because she knows to listen and she knows how to communicate. I think those are the difficulties and tropes that we have in relationships so much that I don't find it a problem that she's doing it. To me though, if I'm sitting,
I don't think it's a problem that she's doing it either.
No, but where on the other end, I don't think there's a problem with what she's doing with Anwar being a homosexual Black man giving advice to Black heterosexual women That's where I find it to be completely like, nah, bruh.
So let's talk more than about experience.
Yeah.
If he's had most of his clients end up in successful relationships, is he not doing the job they're paying him to do?
I could say this is the #1 podcast in the world. I could say anything. I didn't see stats.
I mean, now you're trying to nail somebody to the cross, but let's just say we're taking that word for value. Like, there are many people that do a job with something that they don't have. You, before you got in a relationship, were giving relationship and dating advice before having a boyfriend.
Yeah.
We've been there and doing it. I think someone that's been in a field for 15 years, literally even when he was like, I said, oh, is there any relationship advice? I think I said this, that you may regret. He's like, some of it has had to change or dynamics. Like, I don't know. I do believe you can coach someone like to date, even though you're gay. Like, I believe that. I think also dealing with Black women specifically is probably what makes it a lot more relative, right? Like, I'm sure white women probably come to him, but we're raised in a Black family. He understands these dynamics with men. Yeah, he's gay, but I've had a gay therapist before that's listening to advice. There are some people that seek out gay therapists for their gay issues alone. But I don't really think there's anything wrong. To me, it's more about knowing you've experienced this yourself. That's why I think Cam Newton probably was fucking hating on her with that.
You could talk about relationships
but to be a doctor,
and dating.
That's another level of
To me,
schooling.
sexuality matters. Because to me, I would just say that then. Sexuality matters to me in how you navigate the advice that you're receiving from any coach. And so to me, someone who's Christian, faith-based, monogamous, and has never had an ethically non-monogamous relationship wouldn't go to. Like, sexuality to me in terms of discussing relationships, which is why we talk so much about how sex impacts our relationships or why people feel like your relationship can't be real because of the dynamics you insert in sex. That's where I'm saying, like, we're dealing with people, yes, but sexuality plays such a large role in how we show up in relationships, specifically romantic ones. I'm not taking dating advice from a homosexual. I'm just not. I refuse. You ain't never been in a heterosexual relationship. The same way I'm not going to take advice from a monogamous, faith-based person who has never experienced lifestyle.
So then, is Dr. Bryant then qualified to be giving dating advice to people that want to get married? She's not.
Well, she said the 3 of the 4 proposals, she never made it all the way. But also, you're asking someone, to me, getting married is not the high all be all. And there's people
that are paying. I'm gonna disagree with this, Mandii.
Okay, you can disagree.
No. People that are paying.
Yeah.
I don't believe that everybody thinks marriage is a high all be all, but we can all pretty much tell. If you're spending money, you're not looking for just a boyfriend.
So let me ask you this question. On the opposite end. She has never been married, but has been proposed to 4 times and has been in long-standing relationships. Would you rather take advice from her or someone who's been divorced 3 times? You just saw a clip from the Horrible Decisions podcast.
To check out more full episodes and the rest of our content, check the links down below.